You know, when you look up at the night sky, the universe feels incredibly vast, incredibly empty. But it's not. It's actually, well, it's crowded. It's full of debris, all the leftovers from a pretty violent creation. And while most of it is just harmless cosmic dust, somewhere out there, in all that darkness, there's a rock. A rock that could change absolutely everything for us. See, the thing is, this rock isn't evil. It's not some villain from a movie with a diabolical plan. It's just an object, following the same basic laws of the cosmos that hold our own planet together. And somehow, that's what makes it so much more terrifying. All right, so if it's not evil, what exactly are we dealing with? To really get a handle on this threat, we've got to understand the fundamentals, the basic setup of what you could call our cosmic shooting gallery. The scale here is just, it's hard to wrap your head around. I want you to picture a chunk of ancient rock, literally as big as a city, and it's hurtling through the vacuum of space at speeds we can barely even measure, let alone comprehend. The only thing separating a perfectly normal day from the end of human history is a tiny, almost insignificant nudge in its orbital path. And this right here, this is the absolute heart of the problem. You can't reason with it, you can't negotiate a truce. Like the slide says, it's just physics. It doesn't care about our lives, our art, our arguments, or anything we've ever built. It's the ultimate, completely indifferent force of nature. So what would actually happen if its path did cross ours? I mean, what are we really talking about here? Because the reality is so much worse than just a big explosion. It really is all about the physics. You know, you might think it would take something enormous to end the world, but it takes surprisingly little. An asteroid just 10 kilometers wide, that's about the height of Mount Everest, to give you some perspective, is more than enough to kick off a planet-killing extinction event. Here's what you gotta understand. The real killer isn't the physical impact itself. It's not the rock hitting the ground. It's what happens to all that energy. All of that unbelievable forward momentum, all that kinetic energy, has to go somewhere. And the second it hits our planet, it instantly converts into a blast of heat that is just unimaginable. And this is the result. We're not talking about a fire, we're not talking about a localized blast zone. We are talking about the entire atmosphere being superheated to the point where it becomes a global oven. The very air we all need to breathe would literally become the weapon that wipes us out. Okay, so let's shift gears from the cosmic threat to the human one. Because this is where the story takes a turn that is just so frustrating. I mean, this is the most wild part of this entire scenario. It's just nuts. Unlike the dinosaurs, right, we can actually see it coming. And we have the technical knowledge right now to do something about it. The problem isn't a lack of science, it's a lack of something else entirely. And it's not like we're just spitballing ideas here. Scientists and engineers have already worked out the main strategies. The whole debate really just boils down to this one simple question. Do we go for the big, overwhelming show of force, or do we try for a more delicate touch? So on one hand, you've got the brute force method. This is what you see in the movies, right? Just blow it up. The problem is that could just create thousands of smaller rocks that are still incredibly dangerous. Then there's the finesse approach. It's slower, but it involves using something called a gravity tractor, basically a spaceship that flies alongside the asteroid and uses its own tiny gravitational pull to gently tug it onto a new, safer path over years. The crazy thing is, both are possible. Both are totally within our reach. And there it is. That's the real roadblock. Getting every major country on Earth to agree on a single multi-trillion-dollar project that might not pay off for decades, all to save the future? Well, it turns out that is a much harder problem to solve than the physics of moving an asteroid. And that brings us to what might be the most cynical and maybe the most important part of this whole story. What we, as a species, actually choose to spend our time and money on. Just look at this chart for a second. It makes our global priorities painfully clear. We spend trillions on military budgets around the world. We spend hundreds of billions on corporate marketing, but the amount we spend protecting the entire planet from being wiped out by a rock, as you can see, it's barely even a sliver. It's a rounding error in the grand scheme of things. What this all means is that if we do go extinct from an asteroid, the story won't just be about a random rock from space. It'll be the story of a civilization that had all the tools it needed to save itself, but was just too distracted by its own short-term problems to actually use them. Okay, That was pretty bleak. So let's pull back from that cynical reality for just a moment, because there is another way to look at all of this, a much more profound way. A threat like this just cuts through all the noise, doesn't it? All our arguments, our politics, our cultures, our beliefs. They mean absolutely nothing to a giant piece of rock. It forces us to face one simple, objective reality. We are all in this together, on this one tiny, fragile planet. And maybe that's the real takeaway here. Maybe this threat isn't just a curse. Maybe it's a kind of reminder, a cosmic alarm bell, screaming at us that our time here is finite and it's precious, and that the things we build, the people we love, and this world we share, they're all worth protecting.
And that's our unique position, isn't it? In the entire known history of the universe, as far as we know, we're the first species to be smart enough to see the danger coming and to develop the power to actually stop it. In a very real way, we are the planet's immune system, its conscious line of defense.
In the end, it's a choice. We can keep our heads down, focused on our own small patch of ground, or we can look up and finally take our place as the guardians of our own world. The rock is out there. It's coming. The only question left is whether we'll be ready for it.